Greetings and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 6 Minute Daily Live. That's right. We've got 6 minutes of content coming up for you in 3 minutes and 18 seconds, 17, 16, 15 seconds, let's say. And I've got a lot. We got some really crazy stuff going on, some wild stories. And of course, my X account is full of brilliant questions like yesterday's. We've got another one coming up today in about, an hour and 3 minutes on my X account. So you do want to follow me on X. It might be the reason you make an X account today. We've got, like I said, 20 stories. Usually I average about 17 right now, calculate 17 almost every day. And Jane Gunn, Gunn's Superman, is the one that's going to be the primary today. Lots of changes in the future for this film, in addition to lowered expectations. And those numbers continue to fall. I think it's kind of funny that the headline fudges the numbers. We'll get to that in a moment, but it's pretty wild. He does look a bit deviant. That's true. By the way, this shot that's behind me, and we'll talk about it during the course of the show today, it's gone. They pulled it out because of the negative. Sort of poops cuber, nom nom. Indeed, and that's a problem for a bear. Which the bear story today is a reason to be bear aware. So stay informed, stay sharp, and if you're in bear country, look around once in a while, and don't fall asleep in the open. Crazy white boy for three. I always forgot the 3,000. Crazy white boy for a good greetings, good morning to the weatherman. Speaking of the weatherman, dropping a gifty over there. And that was gifted to Crazy White Boy. So thank you for that. Weatherman being today's greeter, saying hi to everybody. Need a little time to themselves. That's right. You need a little time. Our lovely Ms. Pitcoff, I'm so glad you're back from your time off. It's good to see you in the audience the last few days. You were missed. Dr. Jill Powers also on the green machine and in the tube as well. Great to see you. Lord Thoth is here from Canada. Good to see you, my friend. One of the longest wrenches on this channel. Not that I've ever measured. We got a few other folks out there as well. That joke's going to hit hard. Morgan King is here. Another longtime survivor of the 6 Minute Daily. Great to see you, Morgan. Hope everything's going well. We have the return of that gameplay, so be prepared for bunches of stuff coming out here in the near future. King of Games 2007, good morning. And a few other folks popping in here as we start the show off. Davina Duckworth out there, Tobach, of course, and many, many more. Let's see. Commander Ed Straker of Shadow, good morning. 15 seconds left on the countdown. We've got Avarice Carmageddon in the house. Great to see you. Rather watch an F1 movie? Me too. I think that's going to be the sleeper hit of the summer. Low spec Linux laptop out there in the world. I think I saw Chris Dickerson. I did. Good morning. And the lovely Penny. Penny. Thank you, D-Bud. You're amazing. All right, folks. 6 minutes starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whenever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6 Minute Daily. We have a lot to talk about. Not a lot of time to do it in. And this one for a Friday is going to be a little shorter. Why? Because right after this is That Park Place Alive with a little bit of extra magic hours, and you're not going to want to miss it. Now, James Gunn, Superman is tracking for $135 million. No, it's not. The actual opinion is sharply divided on this, and it's more likely that it's going to hit the lower range between 90 million and 120 million. And ultimately, I think that's fairly accurate. And a lot of it has to do with what the perceived visuals were, like this story coming to us from Jordan Rumi over there at World of Real. James Gunn has cut the infamous Bobblehead Superman. Yeah, because it got wrecked. And you know what? It didn't need to be in there. They really need to work on what needs to be in a film and what doesn't. And this special effects shot was utilized in a recent trailer. So will this suffer from false advertising? Hard to say. 28 years later is leading the way in previews. It looks like it's going to have a record best start, with Elio coming in at a terrible 2.5 to 3 million. Let's say 2.5. This is the preview numbers that were exercised last evening, along with any extra special early screening that either of these things got, which I believe Elio had. We have a weekend dragon leader. That's right. How to Train Your Dragon will lead the market, as 28 years later will fall in second, and Elio may fall. And even below that, wow, that was a weird interruption. Let's hear it for the terrible ad blocker restriction thingies that YouTube has placed on everything now. Let's keep going, though, as we move into the other stories with a little brisker pace. Jurassic World Rebirth is not exactly a winner at this point, and the reactions early are all over the place. So there's that. We've got Bob Iger and Willow Bay throwing up strong signs of support for silliness, and they are upset with ice raids. They just came up short of saying that Disney had the same opinion. Hideo Kojima and his illness has affected Death Stranding 2, and the production of what we know is going to be an animated feature coming out at some point. Chris Brown has pled not guilty to grievous bodily harm at a London court appearance recently, and Fat Joe has been sued for $20 million by a former hype man whose complaint is talking about things that Fat Joe did very much illegally, and all of the things he was forced to do. This will be interesting. Trump has bragged about a big win over Newsom with the court-ordered control of the National Guard, which was never in doubt. The Ninth Circuit told Newsom to pound sand. And judge denies R. Kelly's emergency motion for release because he's being the subject of a murder plot. That's wild. We, of course, have Iran's internet blackout, which is to be expected anytime there's any bad news headed that way. They hide it, and that seems to be the MO of Iran specifically. We've got Erdogan vowing to boost Turkey's missile production so that they can supply missiles to, you guessed it, the Iran folks. And U.S. stocks are rising in the return from the Juneteenth holiday. We've got interesting news about Affleck and suspicious activity on their network, which means, well, Social Security and all your other secure data, or what should be secure data, may have, or most likely is, compromised. Awesome. We've got Canadian tariffs on U.S. steel and aluminum that could rise depending on trade talks. Carney's trying to talk a big game here, but he doesn't really have much support. In fact, he's got 3 provinces that are looking at leaving. It'll be interesting because we will control basically the west coast of Canada if they elect to join us, but they're going to lose Alberta, probably Saskatchewan at the very least. You got California examining its Amazon oil ties for some reason. Oh, because they want to bow down to whoever anybody is down there in Ecuador. I think that's a problem for Ecuador, not for California. And being in a position to stall your state out even more, Newsom, probably not a good way to run for office, especially if somebody can point at this as a failure. Again, I got that. And finally, man survives a black bear attack. The bear had to be euthanized. In fact, anytime a bear actually has contact with and or draws blood, this is a normal practice. So this man was sleeping outdoors in a cot, enjoying a nap, and woke up to a black bear prowling about. Guess what? The bear walked up to him and bit him, despite the fact that he was trying to stay still, and that immediately instigated this situation. This is bad for the bear, bad for the person, and just generally bad. So do yourself a favor when you're around, even if it's Snortopoopas Q bird, do yourself a favor, be bear aware, and know that don't put food anywhere near you, don't sleep in an open exposed place, and don't even give a bear an idea that you might be food. Those are all smart practices that maybe more humans should do. Anyway, that's it for today's 6-Minute Daily. It is a fantastic Friday with all you lovely Culturians, and I'm very much looking forward to a little bit of bonus time before we send you over to that Park Place Live for some extra magic hours. with Vash Sky and the team. Let's jump over to a little bit of hello and say thank you for Robert. Robert is giving me an opportunity to say thank you and an opportunity to say I'm going to be watching something very soon. Do you think AI will replace traditional VFX? I do. I think it's possible. And to be fair, I think it's already happened in various ways. The fact that we're getting to the point where we can have static character preservation through AIs like VO and some others that are out there on the market. I have a feeling that in the future, you will be able to do not just that and not cleaning up the dialogue and all of that. You'll be able to get a shot from 1,000 different angles so that you can develop your own personal style for whatever it is that whatever story you're trying to tell or whatever film or television is trying to do. So VFX is probably, going to be well aided by this, and it already has been from some accounts. So yeah, I think you're right. I think we're going to not have as many VFX artists. You're going to have people who will become, I guess, if you wanted to put a term to it, like shot masters, who are going to understand how to put prompts in place to get the desired effect out of it. Because you don't want to be generic with lasers from eyes. You want to be able to be as specific as possible with AI prompts. That's what actually gets you, the quality. So I have a feeling you'll have people like that just specialize in prompting. Prompt foo, let's call it. So there's that. Hey, Jaco's in the house. What's up, buddy? Are you okay? Do you know what happened with the H-cast last night? Oh yeah. Mr. H had to be in the city for several reasons, including seeing 28 years later, so that he could give a proper review of the film. But he actually explained it in a Twitter post. So yeah, the H-cast is going to get back to its regular 2-day-a-week schedule here pretty soon. So yeah, everything's good. And thanks for being here, buddy. And I think you sent me a tweet, direct message this morning that I didn't have a chance to get to. So I'll go through there and see what that is. But I want to say thanks to everybody that's here. We got Fenrir Howells. What's up? What is the Superman thing? It's just that stupid effect shot that's behind me. This one. Or he looks like a bobblehead with googly eyes in a fisheye lens. It just looks ridiculous. It also looks like Superman is just too thin and gangly, but there's a lot of problems with that shot. With the tracking numbers down, do you think it's possible for Superman to actually flop? Flop's a strong word. I don't think it'll flop, but again, we had this conversation last night on Comics Division. If you watched the Thursday Throwdown, it could flop based on word of mouth, or it could exceed break even and still not be considered a big winner. I really do think that this thing may struggle to get to that 700 million mark, which might mark its break even point. And the reason I say that is because as we keep getting reports about the numbers and the excessive spending on this project for Superman, it's definitely in the $300 million range at the very least. And they're approaching the promotion of this very aggressively, like almost a Barbie quality promotion. So they're spending at least 100 million there, probably more. So if you're looking at a $400 million production, you need to double that up at the very minimum, which we know is not going to help to get them over get them over 800 million. I don't see it getting to those numbers. I think this thing is going to stall around $700 million, maybe a little more, and that's it. And so will the film have underperformed? Do I think it's possible it underperformed? Yeah, I think it's very possible it will underperform. I think when you look at the soft starts in previews for even the things that are out right at this moment, 28 years later is doing very well. We'll set the bar for the future follow-up films, which there are 2 more of these. One of them is by one of the worst director and humans on the planet, the Nia DaCosta era of 28 whatever is going to be maybe less exciting. But when you look at the Elio performance and it's 2.5 million in previews. Anytime anything starts out so poorly, don't give it a lot of cred, because it means that all of the social media predictions that are made by Parent Analytics and other places like that, it just reinforces the fact that it's absolute nonsense. Deadline and any of the trades have been massively wrong recently. The only person that is mostly consistent is Box Office Theory. And I think that he's actually in a position where he's going to miss Superman as well. In fact, he already did, because when he came out with his projections earlier, they were wildly too high. And the expectation and performance in the domestic market, by Box Office Theory, and the first tracking that I saw, I think it was the high end was 515 domestic for the entire run. I don't think that's possible. Um, and again, that's just me. Sean's usually really good with that, but I think he's starting to miss because he's paying attention to a lot of algorithmically based ideas that have built-in failure points. Um, People may have heard of something, but that information is only good on that day. The minute that it expires, things fall apart. I tried to explain this on Comics Division show last night on Thursday Throwdown. I think I did a really good job, but the depth of the understanding, or the stuff there, maybe needs to be listened to or paid attention to a few times to get it all. You're Again, information like that is only good in as far as the sentiment that it expresses in numbers for that moment in time. Because if that person sees like the bobblehead effect and it turns them off of what the visual effects might be, or they see, let's say, Lois Lane being a complete jerk face to Superman, and that turns them off, their sentiment has changed about their interest. So I guess to get to the ultimate ask here of your question, I think it can flop, but it's going to depend on what you define a flop. To me, a flop means it didn't break even or make a profit. That's a flop. If it breaks even but doesn't do much better, then it underperformed. And anything below that threshold is a failure. And that's the reason why Disney is such a failure, because they don't care about money anymore. It's pretty obvious. So I was an investor. I'd be freaking out right now. If I was, had a giant portfolio. Mine's very small. But if you had a giant portfolio, or you were connected with a institutional investor, which I'm also a part of. But if you were connected to them, then you'd be mad at the institutions for investing in Disney, because Disney is a giant well of suck right now, and they've been hiding the well of suck, to be fair. So they haven't been retiring debt like they should. That's for darn sure. Brian and Cindy, I still think Superman is wearing PJs. I think they're a little loose. I think they're not quite as sharply defined as a superhero costume. I agree with that, if that's the sentiment you're expressing. Let's see. We got. Oh, that's right. Yeah, do check out Mr. H Reviews. They're an afternoon, evening podcast on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We always have a good time over there and bring you news and breaking information, sometimes exclusives as well. Lots of insight there. We've got so much going on in the world of film right now that I think you're going to see the de-escalation on films going forward. Not just because of their access to AI, which is coming, but because you can't justify it anymore. I think one of the best moves that Warner Brothers Discovery is doing is splitting into two companies. I think Global Networks is going to be burdened primarily with all of that unretired debt, which I think that's where it should be, because they are the ones that are creating that debt. The salaries for these channels and all of that is way too high. I think you're going to start to see a lot of production companies struggle, especially on the television side. I think everybody and their mom now is trying to launch a production company at exactly the wrong time. So I'm just paying attention to the business trend. and where it's headed. It's a little bit different. I want to say thank you to Psychotic Mongoose, who's been here for 7 months. Thank you, my friend. Saying, I'm loving the videos on the Campione channel. Thank you for that. Actually, thanks for mentioning the other channel. We did launch a reaction channel, Campione Reacts. I'm telling you, I'm having fun. Last video, the second actual complete video, was myself, Tugs, and my nerdy home, which of course is Tugs and Stephanie. Stephanie obviously posted out a tweet today that had another clip that I think we're going to react to, and eventually we're going to have a playlist for each just different subject matter that we cover. The first one was the whether or not to pop the ultimatum on your partner and what usually that ends up being, and then the other one is men are trash segments, and I don't show the ladies I'm working with what they're going to see. That's going to be the standard practice over there. I got Nadia joining me next week on over there. Nadia in Horror with Nads. She's at time. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of that between John and looks too much like an accountant. That Barclays Live for our friend. I don't know. Kalikio Kenny. I want to say thank you to the amazing and very, very agree with you, Greta Earwigs, earwigs. Earwigs, Narnia will tank. Oh yeah. Look, the minute you separate or try to separate Christianity from the Chronicles of Narnia, you've missed the point. And well, you're gonna see that reflected in the box office. CC should end the stream here, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm going to. So I don't know what's going on. Bad lag. I don't have any problems on this end, so my assumption is other things are happening. I know I'm several minutes behind on the quotes, but I saw one last one I gotta get from our pal Morgan. Morgan says 37 months. That's right. Says CultureCasino, you are videos freezing and roboting. Okay, great. Well, then we are going to get out. I want to say y'all are amazing. I appreciate you. Maybe I can release this as a standalone video after I download it. It's crazy. Anyway, go check out that Barclays Live Extra Magic Hours, and we will see you on this show on Monday. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. For real.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty.